I am possibly going to fail this project. Hi, I'm Drew, welcome to the Beggars Woodshop, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's quite possible this project is going to be a failure. And I'm going to let you see it. Why not? Today's project is a bunch of pieces put together on the lathe, and I've already gotten started doing this. You ready to see if I fail or not? Alright, come on over to the drill press. Hey everyone, I just want to take a pause here from whatever it is I'm working on, just to say one thing. Thank you. Thank you for your support of this channel. From your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, your views, and sharing this out there with other people. I thank you. You've helped this channel grow. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't know what I'd be doing. Of course, I'd also like to thank those of you who have supported in other ways, from equipment, be it here for the shop, or for being able to film these projects, as well as those who have contributed financially. There's a GoFundMe link down in the description below, so thank you to all of you who have contributed that way, but also personally, those of you that know me. So again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for helping this channel grow, and I hope to continue to bring you content that you enjoy. Now, let's get back to whatever it is I'm doing. I have a project, and this project, I don't know why I came up with it. We'll talk a little bit more about the inspiration of this project, but essentially, I have to take a bunch of pieces of wood, glue them together perfectly. And this would be great if I was doing this segmented and a little bit easier in some cases, but unfortunately, well, I'm not quite doing that. What kind of wood am I using? Well, this is some kind of pine. I've been using this throughout the course of the channel. It used to be an old waterbed, and it's nice and strong, and I only know it's pine by the smell. Now, I'm not doing this spindle. In other words, I've got the grain running this way in the lathe. No, my grain is running this way. So every time I cut it with a lathe chisel, it goes end grain, regular grain, end grain, regular grain, so on and so forth. Now, I have to align all these pieces I'm putting together for this project. And, well, it's a little tricky to do. Especially when you got pieces this big and other pieces this small, and you gotta make it work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole down the middle and actually align everything together. I've got all the pieces pre-prepped and ready for hole drilling before I glue them all together. But before I go chopping and hacking, we gotta talk about safety. Read the manuals that come with your power tools. The more you understand and follow those safety rules, less likely you are to cause personal injury either to yourself or someone else. Hearing protection is a must. We don't want to go deaf while we're still young, but of course the greatest protection you could take, eye protection. You will be thankful the day these come in handy. Let's just hope it never does. Alright, let's get started. No, this isn't a piece of shish kebab, or anything of the like. This is actually all the upper sections. I have the lower sections ready to go as well. I got my 3/8 inch dowel to help align everything, that's why we drilled the holes. And I'm going to glue all this together. Now, unfortunately, I don't have enough large clamps to be able to clamp this and clamp the other piece, so I'm going to have to do this in sections. It also recommends that I leave everything in the clamps 24 hours, at least in all the shopsmith manuals I'm reading before using the lathe with this kind of operation. So, what I'm going to do is leave everything in the clamps for however long it should be, which, yes, 24 hours, and then I'm going to pull out the dowel, hopefully with no glue on it, and align that up so that everything slides together. That way we have at least a little bit of it hollow. Now, that dowel will be pulled out early so I can finish the alignment, and I have a few smaller clamps that I can do some of these smaller sections in, I hope. This is going to take me a few days to do, but that's okay. Alright, as long as I get this done, time to get it out to you. I hope. So, we just slide all of our pieces off. I can begin the bottom section. Before I do, however, you'll note I have some darker pieces in there. That was given to me by a neighbor. I don't remember what he said it was. I just remember that he said it was in the mahogany family. It's not mahogany. And that'll add a little style to it. If it were up to me, yes, I'd probably do this a little bit differently in the future, but here we are. I have to be careful not to get it in the hole. And I did. Okay, 24 hours. So about 2 o'clock tomorrow. Now just because I'm waiting on glue ups doesn't mean I'm gonna sit around and do nothing. This is a lathe duplication project. I got a pattern to cut out. Let's get started on that. And it is here, ladies and gentlemen, you may watch me fail. I've got this piece mounted on there, a little bit more than 6 inches, so I'm kind of pushing it. And I have to flatten this side out just a little bit to make it all come up even. Hopefully I won't be taking off too much. This is part of the reason you may see me fail. The rest has to do with the wood grain. We'll see that a little later. Okay. So, while I wait for the glue-ups to finish, because I got at least one more, I'm gonna get started on the top of this thing. Because the top of this thing actually does not require any glue-ups. I'm doing this one straight spindle. Okay, this thing has been in the clamps for more than 24 hours. It's actually, well, about 72 hours later, maybe a little more. And I am pushing this to its limits and a little bit beyond. Some of this is a little bit wider than 6 inches, and even on slow speed I'm going to get a bit of a wobble just in the early roughing days. I should have a speed reducer, and yet I don't. But that is on my list of one of these days. Yeah, this is going to be challenging, but I've also got something else that's bothering me. Take a look. The pattern is a little bit longer than the blanket itself, so as a result I have to have this stick out and can't quite get all the way down with the way everything's positioned. So what I'm going to have to do is do the basic pass and then come back in with a stabilizer as this thing is off the tailstock, just so I could get inside this little area here, which is also a bit of a risk with how delicate it is, but I'm not too worried about it just yet. So I'm gonna have to do that in pieces. Have to do the basic shape and move everything down, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Okay. Hope everything's secure. Here we go. Okay, so while this project is going on here, I'm gonna give you a little history on the origins of this project. Some of you might recognize it via the thumbnail, but let's go a little further in for those who don't. In 1964, Christmas specifically, Jim Beam, the alcohol people, released a nice decanter. Specialized, unique shape, looked really nice. That's 1964. If I said anything else, I correct myself. 1965. Television show comes out. And that television show uses that Jim Beam decanter as a prop. It adds some nice little floral pattern on there, and it is used as a primary prop. A genie bottle, specifically. Yes, the TV show was I Dream of Jeannie. The following season of the show, when it entered color permanently, they then took another bottle, as well as several other bottles, and changed the paint scheme to be a little bit more vibrant and a little more standoutish. This is 1960s color television, after all. It has been an iconic staple. Now, I'm not making mine 100% accurate to either TV bottles or the original Jim Beam decanter, but I am coming nice and close. There's a few details I can't do, mostly because I don't have the ability to. My Dremel is out of commission permanent. And also, this is kind of all experimentation. Now, there could be a little bit of failure, as I may have mentioned earlier. In fact, I did mention earlier. Part of that failure is going to be the fact that this is a large piece. I'm using the 6-inch faceplate, for crying out loud. The other failure is the wood, the pine. I tried a test and seen how it would cut. Wow, did I get some open cell areas. So this makes me a little nervous on the texturing, even after sanding. So, like I said, you're gonna watch me fail, and I'm willing to let that happen. Alright, let's continue with however this shape is going and see where it goes. Okay, I'm partway through the early stages. I think I got most of the roughing. And earlier in this video, in fact, the very beginning, I said, you're probably gonna watch me fail. Let me show you why I thought this. The answer is right all in here. You see how chewed up this is? It is very chewed up. Part of that is that I'm using carbide and I haven't increased the speed yet. But also part of it is, this is end grain and this is this material. This soft pine. And that's really all I know about this, is that it's soft pine. I don't know what kind of pine. And yes, pine is fine, but just maybe not quite in this application. The top that's going to go on this piece actually turned out very nicely, but this is mostly spindled. So the grain is running this way, not this way. So, bit by bit. But I'm going to keep going here, and I'm already seeing some other points that maybe are going to make me go, yeah, this was the mess up. But, like I said, I don't care. I want you to see the mess up if we mess up. Let's get back to it. Ah, got a little more light in here this time. Alright. I knew this was a plausibility, and yet we're here. Let me show you something that I was expecting to encounter as well. Everything's looking pretty nice. You can see we got a nice follow of our shape. It's looking real good. But then right here, you can see there's a bit of a flat spot. Same with here. And these flat spots do appear once or twice. I think I might have some up here as well. I won't know until I really dive into this piece. Yeah, that means that the alignment, as hard as I tried to get it, still was just slightly off in a couple of places. But I've got a method that I'm going to try. I don't know how successful it will be. I actually saved shavings. Yeah, I saved shavings. I'm going to mix some of this up with some wood glue, and then I'm going to fill in those spots, and I probably won't cut it off. I'll probably just do the sanding job, which, with the amount of end grain I got on here, who knows how that's going to look. Ooh, lolly. Well, I got to put on the other cutter head to get some of the finer details. Here we go. I've had to record this part like 3 times. That's why there's extra sawdust everywhere. Because, well, stabilizer just does not want to stay in place. It's not this joint, it's when it attaches to the I-beam. Okay. I hope. Bingo. I got a nasty catch. And it's, yeah. Take a look. The catch did that, and oh, I think completely destroyed that for me. Great. So goes that. Take a look at what it did there. Just destroyed it. Completely destroyed it. This was getting chewed up anyway. Well, there it is. I said it. You're probably gonna watch me fail. Why am I zooming? Ah, there. You're probably gonna watch me fail. And fail I did. Looking at it, maybe I can do something to salvage it, but in the end, this is a failure. Well, if I had it on camera. Okay, that's it from me. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Remember, I got a new series coming out hopefully soon about alternate solutions to encounter problems of the shopsmith. GoFundMe down below if you want to support the channel and help it to have those videos come out. Hopefully I will see you next time right here on the Beggars Woodshop. I gotta fail once in a while.